Let's now create Rocky Linux. Rocky Linux belongs to the Red Hat family. So sometimes I find it performance wise much better in the Red Hat family. So we'll create that. It is something similar to the Oracle Linux image creation. Only difference is that you need to choose the appropriate image. That is the only difference. Otherwise, it is all more the same. So we will create the Rocky Linux. Give the name. Going to give the name as Rocky Linux. Rocky Linux. So only the image needs to be changed. It needs to be the Rocky image needs to be there. Otherwise, yeah, the methods are similar. It'll give the list the names. So this will appear here. Rocky Linux 9 is what you need to choose. Select it. Select that image, and here the image will get changed. And then it is more or less the same. Only thing is uh, you need to have the you need to have the appropriate security for connections. That is one thing you need to take care. Otherwise, it's pretty much same. The network, it should be whatever you have already created. You can use the existing network. Uh, I have already defined that network, so this will default subnet is there. So that is there. And SSH key, you need to upload the SSH key, whichever you have created. I have created my own, so I'm going to use that already created one. Otherwise, nothing much. Shape, network, that's it. And then you can hit upon the create. So this should start creating the instance. The instance takes about few minutes before it is up and running. And you can connect with the um, you can then connect with the SSH. Now the instance is up and running. You will have this under instances. You can see that this instance is created, and you have the public IP address also. So once you have this public IP, you can connect through the SSH directly into this instance. And yeah, all the details are over here as well. Whatever like networks, um, you can take a look. The storage, if you want, you can take a look. Again, one more important point is whenever you terminate, ensure that you delete the boot volume also. You can preserve the boot volume or you can delete it. One point you need to notice that ideally when you uh, terminate, it says permanently delete. Generally, people sometimes ignore this, particularly if you're in free tire, you're trying to play around with it. Sometimes you create the instance and you terminate that instance. Yeah, just terminating this instance alone, it will still retain the boot volume. If you don't enable it, if you don't enable it and terminate, the boot volume will be there if you don't enable it. So what happens is at certain point of time, um, the boot volume goes beyond what is allowed for a free type. So ideally, you should terminate this boot volume so that if you don't require it, you need to delete this boot volume so that you have adequate space. So all this you can take a look, like network security management. If you want, you can have take a look. Otherwise, yeah, you can always I mean connect to the instance through the IP address. Now that I've connected to the instance through the SSH, I have connected. Yeah, you can always do that command, and if you are want to know about the IP address, you can do that. And one of the important point here is that if you want to convert into a GUI environment and connect it um, to the Tiger VNC, which is common in the SSH, you want to connect to the if you don't have a kind of a dedicated Linux box, you can always connect to the through the Tiger VNC to the GUI, and there are list of commands through which you can connect. I think close to about I think nearly 20 steps are there. Yeah, 20 steps are there, and you can it is there in the description box. So and it's there in the reference. So you can run through the commands and then connect to the VNC. I mean Tiger VNC. You need to download and then you can connect it to the VNC. Through the VNC, you can connect it to the GUI. So if you look at this is the first command you got to start off with, just to check whether that appropriate instances are available. We will be installing this in the command. If you look at it, will be I've run all the scripts related to the GUI, that is viewing GUI from the Tiger VNC server. I've run all the scripts which has been described over here. So that is run. And now if you want to connect to the GUI version, then you need to have a Tiger VNC viewer. So log in, click on Tiger VNC. It will ask for the necessary password, then connect, and here give that password which was set. Then it will open up as well. So because it's a remote server, it will take time. And again, the password which you have been set. And now this is the remote GUI of that virtual machine which is running on the Oracle cloud infrastructure. So you can get into internet. Yes, Firefox I have installed. You can also use the Linux from the GUI. That is also possible. You can use that. Um, Clear and close this, and you have other accessories as well. So this is how you can invoke the VNC server, the Tiger VNC. You can look at the GUI version of that server post installation of necessary GUI components into the virtual machine. I hope you found this useful. Thanks and cheers.